Okay, so welcome back. I'm dating coach Hayley Quinn, and I am doing a short webinar series about how to really enjoy being single, the importance of enjoying being single, and having the right mindset and outlook and perspective. Those words all mean the same thing in order to meet someone incredible. If you watch the first section of the series, if you missed it, don't worry because we'll put a link beneath this video so you can check it out. This session, particularly, I want to focus on bad mindsets and good mindsets. So I want you to start to identify today if you are stuck in any bad mindsets, which are making you feel demotivated, that are making you feel like there's no good guys left, that are ultimately impacting your confidence and how you interact with men and stopping you from getting the results you want. I also want you to identify and learn some really good mindsets. So we're going to get into a positive space here around dating. So I want you to really listen carefully to the mindset shifts that I'm asking you to make. Let's start with some bad mindsets. So bad mindset number one is, and this is going to sound more critical than I intend it to be because I just like to own up here and say I've 100% felt every single one of these mindsets, probably, really intensely when I was in that period in my life. So it's not like I'm some sort of Zen super person. I'm not. I just want you to know that if you're feeling this way right now, it's not permanent and it's solvable. And I think that can sometimes be just a nice thing to know. So, your bad mindset number one could be dating apps mean no one wants commitment anymore. So, it could be a sort of like the whole world is broken outlook. And arguably, the world is broken in several ways. But when it comes to instead of going the system is broken, I can't do anything, it's going, yes, the system isn't perfect, but how can I work within the constraints that are presented to me to get the best options that I can? So just because dating apps exist, and yes, they give us an opportunity to meet people that are outside our normal social groups, so it doesn't mean that no one wants commitment. So if that's your thought at the moment, I want you to challenge that thought and think about the fact that just basically people get into relationships, and a lot of the time very good, healthy, happy relationships every day. So the fact that it isn't working for you right now, it's not just going to be that the method is bad. That being said, there's nothing wrong with changing up the method of meeting people. If you feel particularly negative towards dating apps at the moment, you want to go back to dating apps with a clean slate and really kind of like, again, remotivated to go at them properly. If your lack of motivation with dating apps means that you're cancelling on dates last minute, you're rescheduling a lot, you can't be really bothered to message people, you take ages to get back to someone, it's like, obviously, you're not going to be getting the results that you want. So, how do you re energize here? Does it mean that you just take a break from dating apps for however long you need? And, you could take a break from dating altogether, or you could just focus on real life channels to meet people. Real life channels to meet people could be you join a rowing club, you join CrossFit, you go to a dance class, you like you go hang out at the free weight section at the gym. Sounds crazy. That's how I met my husband though, so it's possible. It could be that you say yes to social invitations. It could be that you go to a networking event and instead of going, oh my God, it's all women, you actually friend one of those women and start to expand your social circle again. So there are other ways to meet men than just dating apps. And so instead of thinking dating apps are terrible, I'm stuck, just think, you know what, I'll come back to the apps when I feel in the mood to do it. And right now I'm just going to focus my efforts elsewhere. So be a little bit more easygoing with that. And again, don't shut down options. You can put options on pause, but really I want to inspire you today to open up all the different channels to how you could potentially meet people. Second bad mindset, there's no good guys left. Now, this can really impact your dating life because if we go in to dating with an expectation that he's gonna let you down, or he's gonna be cheat or be a commitment phobe or a narcissist or whatever, again, that's the lens that we're going to start to see experiences through. And whilst you may have that lens on because you just do not want to get hurt in the same way again, there has to be a balance here because sometimes having too much of a negative outlook can mean that you also stop yourself from having the positive experiences that you would actually find to be healing and restorative. Instead of thinking there's no good guys left, it's instead important for you to think, right, I need to do a really good job here of filtering the kind of guys that I want. Oh, I bumped my mic. So you need to think, how do I open up channels to meeting people, and how do I get much better at selecting the best people for me? And as I mentioned in my previous session, again, link believe the video to that if you want to rewatch it. It's all about, instead of thinking about this perfect, omni-perfect guy that just like ticks all the boxes on paper, it's really about identifying what kind of person you need and you connect with. Instead of thinking that there's no good guys left, you have to just recognize there's an abundance of opportunities to meet guys. You need to do better at filtering the guys that you do meet. And in terms of your mindset, be very cautious. If you've been, dare I say it, Googling blogs like, red flags in dating, or how to tell if he's a cheat, or warning signs on first dates, stop right there. It means you're approaching dating with like this sixth sense of danger. You're like expecting to be let down and hurt. And instead, you need to start to cultivate more positive expectations of dating. And I'm going to give you some advice on how to do that on the next slide. Then there's this whole thing about, if I like a guy, he lets me down. You might feel like every time you do get the feels for someone, that it just never pans out in the way that you want. And again, it's this boom bust cycle of like, oh, I'm really excited to meet him, and oh no, he's let me down. So the way to solve that, ironically, is, again, it's actually about getting away from this idea of like good on paper or good first date. I'm sorry, like you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 really great dates, but you still really don't know in practice how that guy would work out for you as a partner. So really, the lesson there isn't like, when I'm like a guy, he always lets me down, doesn't meet my expectations. It's, how do you take longer to like someone and have a more like thorough, slower pace to get to know someone, so you don't develop really high expectations of a guy off having a few great dates, and instead you take the time you need to get to know him to work out actually if he's going to be the right person for you. So, swapping it around, what are some good mindsets you can take towards dating? Well, first thing is to start to believe that guys actually want the same things or very similar things to you. I work with men too. You may have noticed that if you've subscribed to my channel. And, you know, yes, we're different, but are we that different? Sometimes I think it's good to remind yourself that men don't often want to have this like constant party time in their dating life. A lot of the time, guys want to form a relationship too, and they have their own set of struggles and frustrations with that experience. So start to remember that it's not that he's intending to mess you around. A lot of the time, guys want the same things, but there can be communication breakdowns, which mean neither of you recognize the potential in one another. But it's good to start to, again, cultivate the belief he wants commitment too. This isn't something I'm going to have to worry about. This is something that he's going to proactively take initiative around if he's in the right headspace to have that commitment. So again, instead of thinking about how do I arm twist him to want to commit, you should just be like, well, if he has done the self work and if he's in the right space in his life, that's something he wants, that's something that he will help to orchestrate as well. So I really actually don't need to worry about it too much. Second really important mindset here is, I really say I trust myself. To meet a good guy, I trust myself. And you know what? If you've had some crummy dating experiences, that can erode your trust in yourself. It can make you feel like you don't know how to message someone, you don't know how to flirt, you don't know how to make good decisions anymore, you don't know what to try. And we need to rebuild that trust. So avoid anything that takes away from that trust in yourself. So that could be, I don't know, like handing over your apps to a friend and being like, you just do it, you message for me, I can't do it anymore. It could be that you need to actually take more agency in your dating life. So it's about, I'm okay to take feedback from my dates. I'm going to learn how to get better at this. I'm going to, in fact, see dating as this whole personal development exercise. And I'm going to believe that if I can create a process for dating that I genuinely can find enjoyable, that's really sustainable, and that along the way, I will meet someone that I have enough connection things and enough things line up, and they're in the right headspace too, and we're going to be able to form the relationship that I want. And in the meantime, I'm going to really enjoy myself, because you know what? These days of being single are ultimately limited. So for now, before I'm, in a committed relationship with all the, here's the big word here, commitments that brings, I'm going to really enjoy this era in my life. Finally, final important mindset is I'm in the position to choose. So again, it's not like, oh God, do I have to really lower my standards here? I don't really that keen on him, but he likes me, so I guess I should go on a date with him. No. Think about the message you send to yourself with every decision you make with dating. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Think about, does this interaction or does this decision in your dating life, is it supporting your self-esteem? If it is not supporting your self-esteem, you've got to let it go, because remember, you're in the position to choose. So yes, you might have to put some work into generating some options for yourself and some abundance, but ultimately you can choose. That being said, we're all in dating, we all settle because no one's perfect. There is no like perfect person. We're all just fallible human beings, but we don't have to settle for a relationship that doesn't make us feel happy and secure and nice day to day. You can choose. You might not feel like you can choose, but you can still choose. So I've got the picture of the sun lounger there is, I want your dating life to be like, you have just like, you cracked out a sun lounger. You're lying down there, you're enjoying your time, you're noticing who swims up to you in the pool of the swimming pool of dating. Perhaps you are, taking a walk around the pool sometimes to encourage some guys to get into the pool and enter into the race to be your partner. But you are in the position to choose. You don't need to break a sweat here. In fact, you could probably approach dating with a lot more ease than you're currently doing. And being easy with dating comes from that space of that you really trust that this is going to work out. So we're going to need to start to restore that trust. So you don't need to hold on too tight to the outcome, and you can actually start to enjoy yourself again. On that note, in our next section, I'm going to be talking to you about bringing enjoyment back into your dating life. It sounds counterintuitive because, of course, you want to like focus on the goal, right? Of meeting him. However, for many reasons, if you could enjoy the process, it'll actually help you to meet someone faster than if you are hating every minute, feeling really demotivated and down. You've got to enjoy the journey here, people. So, as cheesy as it sounds, that's what we're going to be focusing on. And I'm going to give you some tangible action steps around that. If you would love to join in some live webinar coaching sessions with me, I'd really recommend you go to hayleyquinn.com/real love. Join up to my newsletter. I do live webinars. There's some videos, there's cool ebooks. It's basically a way that I can connect and work with you longer run. Obviously, we don't share your emails or anything unscrupulous like that. So you're just going to be there for the dating advice and for the community. As I said, the link is below this bio. And if you want to watch the rest of the videos in the series, just subscribe to my YouTube and you can check out the rest.